Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Juan Londoño, for those of you that are new. And for those of you who are not, welcome back. Today's topic is an interesting one. When it comes to photography, do we edit how we saw it or the way we want to see it? Although photography started as a way to document history, it quickly made a departure from that. Photography was much quicker than painting, right? Even in its slow, pathetic origins, because it was really a slow process, it was still quicker than painting. So it made sense that it was going to be used to document history. What do I mean by that? Documenting a town before they started building it, like out in the West. They would take a picture, a photograph that would take, hours sometimes because of the methods back then. And it would take hours for the picture to register on the metal plate, but it would capture the scene. And then they'd spend the next year building the town, and then they'd take another one, and they could show the before and after. So it was documenting history. And in the end, like everything else, cost, right? Like my friend says, if the question is why, the answer is money. Photography was cheaper than painting. You didn't have to pay a painter the whole day to stand there. You paid a photographer to stand there for 2 hours, take a picture, go back and develop it, and then a year later he came back and did it again, or she came back and did it again. But as the camera became more portable, it fell into the hands of all kinds of people, even highly creative people. Photography went from a way to document history to just another way of expressing creativity. Ansel Adams, and I have a few books of his back there on the shelf, he openly admitted in his books that his photographs were highly edited. And you can watch his documentary on Netflix. And he goes through that process. His photography was incredibly edited, right? That's how you get those beautiful black and whites, because he knew what he wanted to see, right? So is there anything wrong with that? We're going to analyze that here. Photography became another form of artistic expression. And even though the Europeans they fought it hard, they eventually accepted after the US had pushed photographs into all of their major galleries and museums around New York and the rest of the country, right? Starting with New York. The Europeans finally broke down and said, okay, we're going to have to accept this as a form of art. And now, there are Europeans that are very famous Europeans, even from the 40s and 50s, known for their photography. With computers today, you know that it's just a lot easier to edit, to alter images. And now with AI, artificial intelligence, it does everything for you. There are rumors that photographers might not be needed. I want to dispel that right now, right? Depending on what you do in photography and depending on what you want to do, photographers will always be needed. First of all, if you're doing it for yourself, then AI is not going to replace it, because I want to get out there and I want to shoot pictures. I don't care what AI is doing. I still want to create my own pictures, right? And even if they're not as fake looking or amazing looking as AI, they're real. I'm capturing what's out there, right? I'm not creating it on a computer. The other thing is, even for events, they're saying that AI is going to replace a lot of the photography. It might go in cycles. It might be popular at first because it's cool, it's new. And then people are going to want, like going back to LPs and cassettes like we are now and going back to film. People are going to want the real thing eventually, right? So it'll go back. But product photography, I can see that being driven by AI, because you set a product, you have to set backdrops and you have to set all this stuff. If you can just take a picture of the product and then let AI put it in whatever world you want it to do and move around and do whatever, that makes sense. So maybe product photography is going to be replaced by AI. Even that might not go away, who knows. But back to the topic. Some are saying that you should only use computers and all the tools that are available to photographers. We should only use them to make photographs look like what we saw the day we took the picture. While other photographers are going to tell you, use whatever tool you can get your hands on to create whatever comes out of your mind. So who is right and who is wrong? If the original purpose of photography was to document people and events, shouldn't we honor that purpose and not alter anything? But wait a minute. Didn't painting start out that way too, right? People were hired to do portraits of kings and queens. And look where painting ended up. Have you looked at a Picasso or a Salvador Dali lately? Don't get me wrong, they're beautiful, but the people don't look like real people. So if painting can take a turn for the strange, if you want to call it strange, if painting can take a turn for the strange, why not photography, right? So this is one of those binary topics where it goes one way or the other, right? Here's what I mean by that. If you're like me, then you don't care how photography is used. Or, the other side of the equation, you vehemently sit on either side of the fence where you can't stand that photography is being used for something other than what you believe it should be used for. I will tell you, one of those mindsets will make your life easier, and I think you know which one. I will say this. Art tends to be for open-minded people. I mean, let's face it, right? And open-minded people will use any tool they can get their hands on to create whatever they can. And you might ask at this point, wait a minute, who said photography is supposed to be art? Well, and I'll tell you, we can dance the waltz or la cucaracha all day long when it comes to this topic, but I think we've crossed that bridge a long time ago. I think photography is internationally accepted as a form of art. Let's not even go back in time. Let's move forward with this concept. But back to the question, who is right and who is wrong? Is there even a right and wrong? Back to the side of the fence. It really does depend on which side of the fence you sit on or stand on. Or your level of maturity in photography. Photographic maturity, if you will. See, the more we are indoctrinated into this world of photography, the more open we are to accept its many uses. We may not agree with everything that's being done with photography, right? But we can at least agree that everyone is entitled, everyone has the right to use it as they see fit, as they wish. A camera is no different than a hammer, right? It's a tool. And you know already, we can use a tool to build a hammer to build a cabinet, right? We can use a hammer to build a cabinet, or we can use a hammer to build a home. Is either of those wrong? I don't think so, right? So why would we ever limit the creativity of photography, right? Whether you're creating a portrait the way it was captured, or then you go in and you up the contrast and you turn it to black and white and you play with the highlights and you do certain things, right? Create a vignette. Is either one of those right or wrong? Really, it comes down, if you're being paid, your customer has to like it, right? And if the customer likes the altered one, then that's the right one, right? There is no right or wrong in that case. It's what the customer paid for. No right and wrong in our own opinion. A right and wrong for the customer there is, right? And if there's no customer, it's just us, then we need to be open-minded, right? Some days, personally, I like to alter things, and some days I don't. I'm not a big fan of highly edited or saturated images, but I'll tell you, sometimes I'm curious, and I'll play around with that just to see what I can get. Whether you edit a photograph to replicate an exact moment in time, or you edit a photograph to make it look like a painting, the choice is yours, right? The choice is ours. Nobody can take that away. Some people like to take simple images. They're not even good photographers. They like to take simple images, even with their phone. And then they'll sit for hours, whether it's on their phone editing or on the computer, making the pictures look dreamy and fantasy-like. You know what? Good for them. If that's what they enjoy, good for them. You can't take that away from them, right? It's not me. I like the photography side more than I like the editing side, right? But we're all entitled. Some of the images I've seen from people like that spend hours editing in post-production, are beautiful, breathtaking images, right? They're probably nothing like the thing they saw that day, but who cares? It would be something I'd gladly hang up here in my house, right? So that's really what it comes down to. Is it beautiful to us? So what you take pictures for and how you edit them should be completely irrelevant. For me, personally, a camera is not only a tool or a creative outlet, it's a toy, right? And what are toys for? Toys are meant to be fun, and I intend to have fun with it, personally. So let me know if you agree, right? There's a lot going on here, I know. Some people are very biased on these topics. They have a very stern opinion of what photography should be used for, and other people are more like me and many of you. It's whatever we want to create with it, right? Let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments. First of all, how are you geared, right? Which one do you like more than the other? Yeah, and if it matters to you at all, or you just like doing it for fun like me, let me know if you know people that are really stern about one or the other. Anyway, it's a good discussion. Let's get it started. Comments down below. Please like the video down here on your left and subscribe here on the right. Don't forget the little notification bell so you get a notification every time a new video comes out. Take care of yourselves. I love you guys to death. To life, I should say, right? It's kind of morbid. I love you guys. Please continue taking care of yourselves. Drink your water. We didn't have a water break. Don't forget your water. And drink plenty of fluids, whatever it is. Just healthy fluids. And we will catch up in the next video. Until the next time, ciao for now.